This is Tartarus, the labyrinth that reveals itself during the dark hour.
Labyrinth? What are you talking about? What happened to our school?
It exploded.
Once the dark hour passes, everything returns to normal.
Somehow.
This is the nest you were talking about? But why? Why'd our school turn into a giant tower? You don't know either?
No.
I'm sure it's complicated.
Oh, maybe that's what we're trying to find out.
Who cares anyway? It's not like it would change our minds about fighting.
Maybe it would. It's like, oh yeah, radiation bombs, and you're all gonna die.
Well, maybe now we'll find out. Mitsuru and I have only gone in to take a peek. This'll be our first time exploring it. Exciting, isn't it?
Not for you. You don't get to go.
There has to be some sort of clue in here about the dark hour.
Akihiko, I respect your enthusiasm, but you won't be accompanying us today.
I know. You don't have to remind me.
Just as cool on the inside.
I don't think I'd like a tangled jumble of buildings. Looks pretty cool, but yeah. Yes. To each his own.
But it sure is creepy.
This is only the entrance. The labyrinth lies beyond the doorway at the top of the stairs.
First, we'll have you three get a feel for this place. Why don't you go have a look around?
What? By ourselves?
We're not asking you to go very far. And I'll be feeding you information from here.
So you two didn't plan on coming in the first place?
That's right. We're also going to appoint a leader to make any necessary decisions.
Obviously.
For real?
That's gonna be us.
One of us? Oh, me, pick me.
I think he chooses us because Junpei said that.
You're in charge.
Awesome.
But wait, why him? He doesn't look like a leader.
Logically, shouldn't he pick Yukari, who knows better what's going on than I do, but whatever.
But he has fought them before.
Seriously?
Yeah, man.
That's true, but there's another reason. You two.
You guys suck.
Can you summon your persona without any difficulties like he can?
Yeah, of course I can.
I think so.
Notice that Junpei and I have new Nazi armbands.
These are shadows we're talking about here. Without your persona, you're screwed.
You're screwed.
I'm aware of that.
What's that motorcycle doing there? It didn't come with a motorcycle. Okay. So we use the velvet key, so this is the velvet room. Yep. If you look at the background, kind of looks like an elevator.
I've been waiting for you. The time has come for you to wield your power. The tower that you are about to venture into. How did it come to be? For what purpose does it exist?
Does it have any bathrooms?
Regrettably, you are not yet capable of answering these questions.
You are too stupid.
That is why you must be made aware of the nature of your power.
It's not the door.
It leads here, although no one but you can see it. Your power is unique. It's like the number 0. It's empty, but at the same time holds infinite possibilities.
Okay.
You, my boy, are able to possess multiple personas and summon them as needed.
Ah, maybe that's what that kid was referring to.
And when you have defeated your enemies, you will see the faces of possibility before you. There may be times when they are difficult to grasp, but do not fear. Seize what you have earned.
This is referring to how we obtain personas. I'll go over that in a second. Well, when it becomes permanent.
Your power will grow accordingly. Be sure to keep that in mind.
We level up? No.
My spare time will soon be scarce.
I don't have time for you.
But please, come again of your own accord. I'll tell you then about my true role, the manner in which I can best assist you. Until then, farewell.
Hey, are you all right?
Remember that what he just said is that they can't see the door.
Yeah, what's up? You look like a zombie.
So basically we're standing there, derping at the door. We know that they can't see the door, so we'll say nothing.
Don't tell me you just dozed off.
Yeah, man. It's late.
You're like that coach who fell asleep during the championship game.
I don't know if that's referring to something. Just, yeah.
Come on, man. You're supposed to be our leader.
That's a good point.
Cut him some slack. If nothing's wrong, then let's get going.
So, presumably you do this a lot later and they just kind of see you staring at the wall like that. So, it's just like, oh yeah, that's just a thing he does. He stares at that wall and he comes back and... yeah. Alright. So, now we can use the menu. The clock here is a save point. Just check out this motorcycle. Oh. She did not... we didn't bring this with us. So we're talking to... we'll be fine. Alright. As you can see at the bottom, or rather along the side of the screen, you can see the portraits, or rather like our faces with our little bars and stuff. At the bottom you can see the where we are in relation to the, I guess, the tower. Yep. So when we talk to our party members, we can check their status. This is Yukari. Yukari uses bows, and she's got stuff. But if we push the D-pad, you can see Persona, which is Io. Yukari is mostly a healer, and she learned some buffing abilities and wind attacks. She's weak to electricity, as you can see, and strong against wind. At the top is those different types of attacks. We'll go over this later. This is Junpei, obviously. He'll prove that he should be in charge. He's like our friendly rival, I guess. Again, check his status. He uses two-handed swords, and his persona is Hermes, strong to fire and weak to wind. Right now, he just has a physical attack, and through most of the game, he mostly will get physical attacks and fire attacks. He is basically the most powerful physical attacker in the game, but he is, like, I don't know, he's not as versatile as the other ones. So, we'll go over that one, that's more important. So, let's save it, and, continue. Alright, so, there's only one more thing to really look at here, and that's this thingy over here. Some kind of device I've never seen before. And it's not turned on, so, you can go behind the stairs, but there's nothing back here, so. As I said, there's not a whole lot, well, we can do down here. We can go to the Velvet Room, but there's not much use in doing that. Alright, so let's, go for the gusto and go upstairs. Ready as we'll ever be. Those, was telling me what block we're on, which is basically how the dungeon is divided up.
So, this is it, huh?
The name is kind of important for knowing what, quests will do what, so, but we'll get into that later. Quests.
I hope I don't get lost.
Can you all hear me?
Whoa.
Whoa, is that you, Senpai?
I'll be providing audio backup from here on out.
Cool.
Wait, you mean you can see inside here?
It's my persona's ability.
Useful.
I'd like to join you, but the structure of Tartarus changes from day to day.
It does. It's randomly generated.
That's why outside support is imperative.
Well, that makes me feel a whole lot better.
Now, based on your current location, you can expect to encounter enemies at any minute. They shouldn't be too tough, but proceed with caution. Practice makes perfect.
Alright.
Right.
Got it. Why is she always like that?
She could probably still hear you, Yukari. Real battles, unlike the ones we fought before. Alright, there's only going to be a few of them, but yeah, this is Tartarus. This is probably the majority of the gameplay, but probably not the majority of footage that you'll see, because most of it just involves walking around and fighting random enemies. But I'll show as much as I feel is interesting, or what people think is interesting based on input. So these like silver Halliburton looking cases are treasure chests, so let's open it up. On the mini map you can see that circle thing. The little cross thingies are treasure chests. Let me get a medicine. Below that is the name of the block and what floor we're on in the block. As you can see, there's also an orange thing, which is a shadow. So yeah, use the X button to swing our sword or whatever weapon we happen to have. Your party members can only use one type of weapon, but we can use whatever we want. Okay, we want to make sure that it's can't see us, so if we wait, maybe it'll turn away from us. Now they can see your party members. Something to do if they won't turn away from you is to open the menu and then close it again, and then they may change the orientation. See, he was walking towards me, now he's walking away from me.
Takuba has informed me about your power, but nevertheless, you have minimal combat experience.
I'm gonna go through all these basically little tutorials, but I'm gonna be fighting doing the fights as if I know what's going on. So yeah, because there's something. Well, no, I'll just go through them how the game expects you to.
Would you like me to explain the basics of battle?
That way things I'm doing make sense. Yeah.
The primary offensive options available to you in battle are attack and skill.
We saw that before.
Attack corresponds to the weapon you've equipped, while skill relates to your persona's abilities.
Okay.
Those skills consume either stamina or spiritual power. They tend to have a greater effect.
Stamina in this case is hit points.
Use whichever option best suits the situation.
Yeah.
Keep attacking until you've defeated the enemy, but pay careful attention to your stamina.
Alright.
That's it for now. Did you get all that?
Yep.
Okay, then I want you to defeat the enemy before me. Try using both the skill and attack options.
Alright, so we have more options open, but I'll go over those later. Basically, this is the same enemy we had before, so the one from the roof.
Can't lose. That one just won't die.
This thing won't give up!
As you can see, our party members generally do the same kind of things we do.
A complete victory. Great job.
But as you probably noticed, we can't control them. But we'll go into tactics later when we get access to them. So we get 5 experience and a snuff soul, which is an SP recovery item. Alright, so first battle over. It's yeah, in front of us. Okay. So basically, progress in the tower is always up. If you, we can't go up yet because it'll tell us now. But yeah, there's never instances in Tartarus where you go down. It's always up. Yep. Basically means we get an extra turn, not in these battles here, but later on. And that is also true. So I try to never allow that to happen.
Now's a good time for me to explain about attack properties, which are important to consider during battle.
Yes, they are.
Do you want to know more?
Possibly the most important mechanic in the game.
Nearly every type of attack is associated with a particular property. For example, swords can be used to do slash attacks, while bows are used to do pierce attacks.
There's also strikes, which is another type of weapon attack.
Skills, on the other hand, have different properties. Bufu, for instance, indicates an ice attack.
Oh, they have weird names for each of the attacks. I'll go over what those are later. But Bufu is ice.
Now, most enemies are vulnerable to certain types of attacks. In other words, they have weaknesses. A fire skill will deal greater damage to an enemy that's weak against fire. With my power, I can analyze an enemy to determine its weaknesses and strengths. That falls under tactics.
Okay. The fact that you have to wait a while for the results means that you don't want to attack the enemy that you're actually scanning, because, well, if you've received the results from an enemy, then you'll know exactly what it is. And you know, if you haven't seen it, it will have a question mark, and we use it with the L1 button.
Do you follow?
Yes.
The enemies you're facing have a weakness that you can exploit. Why don't you give it a try?
It is very important to scan all enemies, even bosses, because it lets your AI, that basically makes the AI of your party members smarter. They'll react to the fact that you scanned it and basically try to exploit weaknesses based on what you tell them to do.
Roger. I'll attempt to analyze the enemy.
So, because we analyzed that one, let's attack.
The enemy's weakness is fire.
Okay, so basically this brings up when we scan an enemy. The level below that is the Arcana. It's based on the major Arcana of Tarot. Next to that is the name, the Cowardly Maya. Basically, enemies that look like this are called Mayas, I guess. And that's what the enemies look like on the main screen. On the Tartarus map, the max HP and max SP won't show us their actual totals. And then below that, the strengths and weaknesses. It is weak to that little flame symbol being fire. I'll go over what the slash and all the other symbols mean later. Okay, so he just used a medicine, which is a horrible waste. But now that we know that they're weak to fire...
The enemy is vulnerable. Keep going.
Okay, it doesn't explain this right now, but we can actually go after the other one.
You exploited the enemy's weakness.
Here's our chance. Let's get him.
And then when you do, it'll give you an all-out attack, which will be explained in a couple more of these. I'm going ahead with this because when you do an all-out attack, you might get a better reward. But we didn't. So we're just down one medicine there. I also didn't want people to get injured anymore, so we can actually talk to Yukari to get her to heal us. Which would have been explained later, too. It's another Snuffle. Snuffles are valuable. The medicines generally are not, so it's not a big deal. Yep. If you were looking at the mini-map, you could see that. So, here we go. He's actually coming towards us. So let's try to get him to turn around. And he did. Oops. All the weapons have different ranges, so...
Were you able to exploit the enemy's weakness in the last battle? If you didn't already notice, doing so will also grant you an additional attack.
Yep.
Would you like more details? An enemy will lose its balance if you exploit its weakness or land a critical hit. This will give you the opportunity to perform an additional action. In other words, you'll get to do one more thing.
This doesn't have to be attacking. You can do something else as well.
You can keep attacking the same enemy, or if you prefer, attack a different target.
Sometimes you will want to do that.
And if you succeed in knocking another enemy off balance, then you can act yet again. Which means you can remain on the offensive for as long as you can keep this up.
One of the things I like to do in fights where it's more valuable to waste the opponent's turn than to deal more damage to them is to knock them all down and then do something like buff or something like that. I'll go over strategies like that later, but you don't always want to attack.
This strategy is essential to securing victory. However, remember this. An enemy that's already lost its balance cannot be knocked off balance again.
So, yeah, that's important to know.
You can't knock down someone who's lying on the ground, right? It's the same idea. Now, to knock an enemy off balance, you need to know its weaknesses. So don't hesitate to ask me for an analysis. I'll be sure to share the results with the others as well.
See, this is what I was referring to when I said that your party members will know better what's going on when you scan them.
Got it?
Yes.
Then proceed with the battle. Use what you've learned to quickly dispose of the enemy.
So again, I'm just going to go for the full knockdown.
Yes, the enemy is vulnerable. Attack!
Go to each one. Use our
A wisely
Aggie
chosen
skill.
attack. One more!
And take care of things.
You struck the enemy's weak point. Here's our chance for an all-out attack!
Now I'm sure the game expects you to get to this point, but it doesn't explain what all-out attacks are yet. But we're still gonna do it.
You have the potential to grow even stronger.
And we get a shuffle time. Okay. Cards in our mind. Alright, this is basically if you get a good result in the battle. It doesn't always have to be an all-out attack, but usually the case is I find that if you can do an all-out attack and defeat the enemy, you'll get a shuffle time. So we want to watch that pixie, which is at the end. Get the pixies, which is a new persona. The coins are money, and that sword is a weapon or an item. And we also got a Snuff Soul and 15 experience, which causes us to level up. Great.
Yes! My skill level has increased!
And it causes our party members to level up.
Ta-da-da-da! I'm the man!
So let's get this case, which is another snuff soul. They're usually not this common, but collecting them at the beginning. We can actually change our personas right now if we really wanted to, which I'm not going to do because Pixie doesn't have any attacks at this point, I don't think. But yeah, definitely not fire anyway. Yeah, so I was referring what I did when I talked to Yukari. And in fact, she references the fact that you can do that. Alright, so see, this guy is kind of wandering away, so let's circle around him. Hit him in the butt.
There is a better way to defeat all of your enemies in battle than to attack them individually.
Now she's going to describe the all-out attack.
You can perform an all-out attack. Would you care to hear more about this?
Yeah.
When enemies are thrown off balance, they become vulnerable. An all-out attack will allow your entire team to attack simultaneously.
Now, an important thing to note is that they don't have to be knocked down by an attack. If they stumble from missing, it also counts.
Your enemies will be unable to defend against it. It's a very reliable method of attack. Whether or not you want to perform an all-out attack is up to you.
There are instances in which case you won't want to, as I was described before.
But remember, you cannot perform it when you're alone. So if you want to have it in your arsenal, make sure your team is comprised of at least 2 members.
It also won't work if if all your party members besides you are somehow incapacitated. They're dead or stunned somehow. So, yeah. They've also, the number of party members you have will increase the amount of damage done by an all-out attack. And only your party members who are not incapacitated in the event that you actually can do an all-out attack will participate in it. So if you have 4 members and only 3 can do it, it'll deal less damage.
That's all you need to know about all-out attacks. Do you understand what I've just explained to you?
Yes, we do.
Then, that concludes the basics of battle. But there's one last thing I need to tell you. Shadows become stronger the further you advance. If you don't think you can win a battle, retreat at once.
Good advice.
There may be times, however, when an escape will be impossible. This battle is one of those times. Good luck.
This is basically the boss of the intro part of Tartarus. Alright, so we know what to do here.
A wisely chosen attack.
There are ways of knowing whether an attack is going to work or be a knockdown or not, because sometimes the main character will yell the persona's name and it'll show like an eyes thing. It's not the case for your party members. They won't always do that. And of course it doesn't happen all the time.
You struck the enemy's weak point.
Here's a chance. Let's get him.
Alright.
Get back here, you son of a...
You have the potential to grow even stronger.
I hope so. Just another shuffle time, and it's just another pixie. These 2 are the ones we haven't seen, which is the wand and the cup. The wand is experience and the cup is healing. Let's go for the experience. Because I actually lost track of it. Okay, so if we get the pixie, the card just goes away. It wouldn't have helped all that much, because it wouldn't have increased it by that much.
Yes! My skill level has increased.
But usually I'll go for the...
Ta-da-da-da! Junpei is leveled up!
I'll go for the wands if I don't have the persona that's being presented. And wands are pretty common. In priority, I'd probably put the cups last, unless I'm injured, in which case money is last. Lowest priority. Alright. Okay. I want to show what the access point is, even if they find it before me. So, she's having us split up. To do that, we press the square button. And we can set them to do a different priority, but right now there isn't any reason to do that, so we'll have them split up. She just said there aren't any shadows on the floor, so they're not going to do anything, but they can find items, stairs, stuff like that. And they can
Everyone,
be damaged.
spread out and proceed individually.
So they're gonna go look. As you can see, Junpei is gonna pick up that item. And she found the access point. I want to keep going so that I can
Okay, then I'll look around some more.
show you what the access point looks like. Junpei will give me the item when we leave. They look like this, little circly things, and they teleport us back to that weird device. And it gives me the item, which is a medicine.